Okay, I gotta start. Even though I just got my cup of tea, I'm just like, I can't just sit here and drink it. My head is going to. It's just like, okay, I gotta talk. I gotta talk. I can't just. So for one thing, if I seem grumpy, it's because 11:30 is when this fucking night started. The day hadn't even ended, but the next day started for me. I was like, fucking shit. Oh god. And she's trying to pull her shit, because she just wouldn't stop. She wouldn't stop. She just had to go outside. She had to go outside and lay on the porch for a while. That's just what had to be done. And so after she did that for a while, and she came in, and she had to have some treats, because she walked in the door. And so she had her treats. And then she starts having her fit for her next thing. And she wants more treats or something. I was like, no. And I was kind of grumpy. And I said, this is what you get. This is what you get. You get a grumpy mom. You're going to wake her up. It's literally like 4 hours. Like, it used to be I could get all night if I went to bed when she went to bed. Like I would get like a whole night's sleep. Now it's like so chopped up. But rather than get mad and frustrated, even though I'll be grumpy, I'm like, I'm grumpy. Even though, because you can do things in all different ways, because a lot of people would handle all these things differently. Like Stella would already had been gone for some people. Like I had people tell me to put her down fucking years ago, and she was so sick, and it's like she's doing so good now too. It's such a turnaround. It's like, but she is very much in this habit of communicating through whining, and so I'm trying to put a stop to that, and that's a whole thing too, because it's on me too. I was the one who reacted. I was the one who showed her that was a good way to communicate. And so now it's like, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of complex because it's kind of hurting her feelings. But I got to stand up. Like, I got to have boundaries and stuff. So, anyways, this is boundaries with Stella. Whatever I'm going through this. And 11:30, she's demanding to get up. And I was like, I was trying so hard. And then it was like so uncomfortable. I could not get comfortable again once she had her fit and woke me up. And so then I was like, oh my God. So then once I got her up and let her out, and then she's just lounging. She's just like, oh, this is no big deal. I'm just hanging out. I was like, oh my fuck. So I was like, okay, just get my phone, go look and see what's going on. And I was just like, okay, I guess I'm up now. And it always sucks when I get woke up when it's like I feel like I'm in this really deep sleep because I'm not here. It's like I'm being pulled from somewhere else, and I have an awareness of it. And I feel like so much of it is being done on purpose, no matter how crazy that sounds to people. I've noticed like there's just things that I pay attention to, and I see, and you just, I don't know. I think I pay attention to things that other people don't have an awareness that exists sometimes. And so then when I talk about it, I seem like I'm some sort of weirdo, but it is real. Like the stuff I pay attention to is real. That there was always another world outside of this world. And that to me, the people who don't have that understanding are strange. Even though I seem strange, they seem strange. And what's really strange too is I was thinking about this yesterday because, like talking to everybody, and I don't know who anybody is. I don't know how they live, what they look like, or anything like that. I'm talking to these people just based on our commonality and how we perceive or what we find interesting or whatever. And it's so strange, is like way back in the day when I was like way more insecure, and and I knew I was strange because everybody told me. Like, you're going out there, you can't find anybody. It's like you have your radar up, but nobody comes. And then everybody just, you keep being odd man out all the time. And, but then I knew that there was people out there. Like, I knew the ufology community existed. And but the things that they would show always in the movies and the TV and stuff like that would always be these wild wacko people. And then I would always think, man, maybe that's who I am too, but ugh, I don't know if I want to go hang out with them. It's like, it seems like a little strange. Maybe the people who I'm like are just really strange. Anyways, I was thinking about that and like crossing over that thing now, like, whatever, we're just all strange together. Like, I don't know. I don't know how strange anybody else is out there, but this is how strange I am. And I have to show you this because this was some specific stuff that was going down in the bathroom today with my face. So I gotta talk about that. And I got another thing too, is I ordered so my one castor oil that I've been using, and it was all by accident too. It was like, I think I was it was a couple years ago when my daughter was living here the first time. Because I think she came and stayed a couple times too. I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm pretty sure I've had guests while over quarantine. Like, I haven't been just completely isolated. But it's just weird when I would be around other people because what they need and what I need are very different. And especially when it's people who you care about and stuff like that, they think like what they need should be what you need too. And that is like why we all got to kind of start seeing. And it's also so strange is like whenever I tell people like, well, my guides told me to do this or my guides told me to do that or blah, blah, blah. People always think it's so strange. And I'm doing some things right now that people would think is so fucking strange. Like, they'd be like, okay, this girl is wacky. But it's like, fuck, you gotta follow what your guides tell you. Like, that's what I think, and that's the way it's always been for me. And even though this is like a huge, huge test on it, it's like, I'm leveling up, dude. I'm leveling up. I'm here for it. Okay, I can do it. I can do it. It's hard as fuck, though. It's hard as fuck, man. It takes so much talking yourself through it and keep reminding yourself. It's like, oh, I'm not making shit up. Y'all told me. And so I'm just doing what y'all told me. And so it's weird. Because people think like you're manifesting this life. It's not how I have found this. It's like once I stepped into this role of where I took myself seriously, like there was a changeover where something in me had clicked, and it was after my dark night and stuff. And that is when I went on, to me, if we're talking on timelines, like, and a lot of people understand things on that kind of thing. It's so, but I think it's all one timeline. It's just those are the occurrences on the timeline. And so at the point where I changed and I went through, it was like I went through a door. So it was like a door opened up. That is what it's like. A door opened up and it showed me something. I guess like it shows you possibilities. But it was like one specific thing. And it showed me. And then I had to go through that door and say, yeah, I want that. And then going towards it, there's test upon test upon test. There's so many things. But I have to get on the other side because there's so much of this that doesn't make sense until you close the circle, or you can't see it all until you see the whole thing. So some of this stuff, it doesn't make any sense until I say it, because it's still in action. But it was shown to me, and then I had to choose it. And then once I had chose it and I started seeing, it's like this whole thing unfolds. But it is like you are on a different timeline kind of thing because before it's like you're fighting the universe. It's like you're beat down and fighting it, and then something happens, you save yourself, and then you move towards championship. It's like a level up, and then you move up, and then it like there's challenges, but things keep, it's like another level, and it's confusing because you don't have any other players around you who've played the level, and so you are going in. That is a mastery, because you're going in, you're figuring it out, you're having to, just like in the cooking and the recipes, trying different things, so you become the master. Oh man, that was about to make me cry. Fuck, that, I don't even know how that hit so hard. It's like, that was like a huge emotion that went with that, what I just said. Oh my gosh, that like flew through my nose. Hold on a second. Wow, that was intense feeling. Hold on. Which, I think the solar flash big thing, I think will feel kind of, if you're at a high vibration, will feel more like orgasmic. Like how orgasm like is a head rush. Like it's just like, oh, all this energy goes up into your head and flushes your brain and body, and it's like, oh God, I feel so revitalized. It's like, I think that is like the energy that it will be like. But hold on a second, because I'm kind of got a bunch of things going through my head right quick. And I gotta drink this real quick. But I know it's got my attention already because it's tingling or itching or something. And so when I was in the bathroom, when I got up and I go in and start, take the first thing, like take the little rubber band out of my hair. I don't know how, like I can get the lightest rubber band and it will feel like 5 fucking pounds is added to my hair. It's like, there's some things with long hair, or just, like I wouldn't change it. Like I'm not gonna cut it off because it's heavy or it's hard to deal with at night, and I try a million different things. Because I also feel like the more my health improves, like, and once we get in the motherfucking med beds, once that vibration sets, like when we get in that vibration, it is not going to have all of these, like, I think it's going to be so much healthier. Confirmation, so much less aches and pains and stuff, So, anyways, okay, the castor oil. Let's do castor oil first. So the castor oil, that was totally by accident. When my daughter was here, and it was something, I swear to God, I was saying something about my hair, and she said, oh, you should put castor oil in it. Castor oil is really good for it. And I was like, oh, okay. So I ordered some on Amazon, just ordered some. No, I just went in and had no idea all the different ones. So I ordered one, and it was this Jamaican black castor oil, which is really good. And I didn't know that at the time. And so then, but supposedly too, the best thing is also to get it in like dark glass. The Jamaican one I have is in plastic, but it's really thick. I really like it. And so I don't know how it was where I just started putting it on my face. And it was just like, I don't know why, how that occurred, but I started putting it on my face, and I just kept putting it on my face, and then that just turned into my face cream, which turned into me not washing my face anymore, which turned into just re-waxing my face all the time, and just constantly keeping it moisture on the outside with this castor oil. So that happened a few years ago, and so that all just happened organically. And then I've seen so much stuff about castor oil since, like, fuck, so much stuff. That's when I started being like, fuck, put it on this, put it on that. And I started using it on wounds, everything. It was like, fuck, castor oil is fucking miracle shit. And then when I went to my mom's, and she had castor oil from all the way back in the 40s or 50s or something. She has old ass castor oil. And I had something wrong there. I put it on, it was gone. I was like, what? Like, they're good castor oil. Like, I'm sure that there's still issues. Like, if it's draining the minerals out of the soil with the crops that are growing or whatever, but I'm sure there's something where it was like, there was more before. There was more richness. It's weird though, because it's coming back, just like the micro macro, how it's coming back on my hair. But so I ordered another castor oil. So I got one, and it's like a dropper. I've got so many of these glass dropper things now with all these oils and stuff. But there's a castor oil one, and it was like $10 for this one. Is the other, and you can get like, you get $40 for this. Like, yeah, you know, and that's for each person to decide, you know. And that's why I'm trying different things too, because I want to see, is there really a difference? And so I got that one, and it is like creamy. It's a different kind of creaminess though, because the Jamaican black one's very creamy, but this one is also creamy. So anyways, I was having this, you know, it keeps having a dry patch, like something's still going on. And so I got I was using this new castor oil, just rubbing it all over my eyes and stuff. But anyways, so that's another thing. Like if you notice like anything on the skin thing, I mean, you can say, I don't even know if I could say anything that small. Like if it starts looking like, oh, look at her brown spots are going away or whatever. I don't even know it all. For one thing, I wanted to try and do like with this puffiness. And so this is where I want to get like serious about my face. Let me think if I had finished saying about the other. So the tube oil. So I'm going to focus on using the one castor oil over the next few weeks and see. So if you see anything like, then you can say like, yeah, I think your skin looks better or looks the same or whatever. I don't see any improvement, because that's what I'm trying to like monitor. Like, is it really, you know, more better to get this little, my mom's was glass bottle, little glass bottle. So anyways, but people, they get all on this, like trying to profit off things, you know. It's like some of these fucking channels with the Hertz stuff, it could be they don't do it on purpose. They're just trying to jump on a trend. Everything's on this trend. Jump on a trend, jump on a trend, get it while it's hot. And so they could be just trying to do that and not know what the fuck they're doing. But I know that there's some out there that are purposely, because I mean, even they purposely went into the gaming community through their thing. They go into all their communities, they infiltrate in. So people go into meditation and shit, and some of this stuff, I feel like I don't know, I just don't trust it. I definitely would not do a meditation, talking meditation, unless I knew the person, who the person was and stuff. I wouldn't do somebody walking me through a meditation. Like, I don't want somebody in my fucking mind like that. I get my brain in. It's like going, they're hypnotizing you. So, hold on a sec. You're giving them access to the deepest part of your mind, going into a relaxed state. So, yeah, you gotta be choosy for who you let in there. Okay, so the castor oil is the new thing that I'm adding in. Was there something else? So anyways, when I was in there, I was, you know, I was doing my, rubbing all my oil on my face, and I could feel the spot was still like a dry spot. It's like all these other things when I was going into the doctor. Now I'm a cough a lot because I just drank the Mullen. When I went in, I would feel these little like dry spots, and you put lotion, but it always felt like a little dry spot. And so then you go in and ask the doctor, and they're, oh, that's precancerous, we'll just burn it. And they just do this little like the little cold thing, and just do a little cold thing. But then you go around with these like things on your face, so all those little things, they would just like burn them off, and they would say they're precancerous. So I don't know now, like looking at things differently. I'm not sure, because now how I see things is so different now than how I saw them. And it's also so weird. A part of a awakening thing is like when you worked in the medical community, and then you start seeing like man, all these guys that went around with their fucking thumbs up their ass thinking they are so fucking hot shit. And now I just look at them like, oh my God, what a bunch of controlled fucking zombie. And that the only thing powering them is their ego and greed. It's like, oh my God. And then they get the people behind them that are also into that thing, pushing them ahead. It's like, oh, it's such, ooh, it's really, ugh. And that outside of our society is all going to be being revealed. Is all of this, ooh, really, ooh, yeah, ooh. There's so much of that. Ugh, so gross. And so that's where, that's where each person has to see like, oh God, yeah, I was like part of that. You have to go in and accept yourself. Accept yourself. But you do have to. And it is all the time. You have to stay up on it. I swear. It's just like, especially things are going and going and going, and I can't even handle TikTok. I swear. Yesterday I was super busy doing stuff around here. I had this like, I don't know, a super productive day. It felt like, without. I mean, it's still full of interruption, but it felt like it was like in a flow. And it was really sunny out, but it was freezing cold. It was so fucking cold, and the solar winds or whatever was coming. It was so fucking windy. And anyways, so the whatever, I'm off on a fucking, I don't know where I'm at. I'm just going. Let's see. So let's just go right back here. Okay, so I went in there to put on the stuff. And I keep feeling like there is definitely a heaviness over here. There's a definite, like when I focus in and I start feeling, but I was aware of it for a while. There was things I was watching, but I was like in denial. And so I was in confusion too, because it was just leaving this medical community is new to me. And it was like something I really believed in. I worked in it. I let it destroy my fucking health. I am so mad at myself. I'm so mad at myself for putting these fucking plastic jugs inside my chest. I'm so mad at myself about it. And injecting this shit in my face. I'm so fucking mad at myself about it. And then you can't get stuck. You gotta let it go. But fuck, I'm definitely going through the process of, ooh, God damn. And then it's not like all their fault. They're a bunch of fucking morons. Here we are going, oh yeah, okay, this is a good idea, okay. Yeah, let's do this. It's like, oh my God. So, just gotta let it go. Let it go. Fucking crazy people are running the asylum. Just like, I should have caught on too. I should have been like, I don't know, putting plastic and poison in me. Is that really a good idea? But in the name of beauty, we'll do anything. In the name of maybe somebody will like me, we'll do anything. Oh, it's so fucking sad. So, anyways, I went in there, was rubbing, and and I keep doing this like check because it was really clear to me when that black went, and the black line is started. So there's a black line again, like I can see it. So, anyways, and it hurts, like from, I would say, like, I feel like now it's like injection spots, because when I was doing it, and what I had noticed was, when I was watching those things doing the Reiki and all the lymph movement, which on the lymph movement thing, keep in mind that you are moving it back. You're not moving it down. Like, I think somebody was saying, well, but where are you moving it down to, dear chin? You're moving it out. You're moving the lymph out. You're moving it out to the circulatory system. So you're moving things out to get them out so that they aren't clogged up. And that's what that guy was saying, the guy who was talking about lymph. He was talking about all those clogged up areas, that is what starts making you look old and feel sick. And like this right here, what's going on is totally, like, I totally get what they're saying. And then the people who, talk about the tension in your face. And that is probably why there are so many Oriental people who look so young, is because they do all those kinds of like, the Eastern philosophy of life is way different than what we have been manufactured into beings of Western philosophy that is based on consumerism and artificial chemical sustainability of nonsense. I swear to God. And so but anyways, so when I was watching those kinds of things and the Reiki thing and all that stuff was just kept coming to me. Like, I don't go out and search this stuff. It just comes to me. And then at the same time, there's things that interact. That's why I said when you're present in your life, you'll see things are coming to you. And so that stuff will come to me. And so then I was doing these like rubs and stuff. And I had been watching this eye thing for a while. I'd already gone to the doctor, the dermatologist, and then waiting from the doctor to the dermatologist, you have to wait a long time. Like this has been going on for a couple years. And so, I had been paying attention to that. I knew that there was a blackness there. I knew that there was a spot right here on my nose that I was making me think like, geez, could this be like eating into my bone or something? Like, what is going on? Is it eating into the tissue? What is this darkness? And so then, when I was doing this and, I was feeling, and it doesn't feel like, I mean, I guess there's like, it feels some like tension, but I don't have like really severe, like I don't have that, my tension is in here. This is where I hold my tension. Some people, they can crinkle their forehead. Mine doesn't, I don't even know how to do that very much. Like, but we all have different ways that we deal with our stuff. Mine is definitely like, oh, it's like I feel like I'm just going through life braced for impact all the time. That's why all this stuff going on is so much about a challenge of me, like the obstacles of this learn how to calm yourself, relax, trust, that kind of stuff. So that is a part of what I'm doing, my process through all this stuff. But the obstacles and stuff, the challenges are all there. Like, there's a lot. We all have all these fucking huge challenges through this. This is all about our growing and healing and fine-tuning ourselves. And so anyways, I had been rubbing this, and I had been noticing feeling like, I wouldn't say like lumps, but kind of like lumps. And it's sore too. I don't know how to explain it, but it's sore. And so, and this could be up where lymph is. And like, it would not fucking surprise me if they would even inject right around like where there's lymph drainage and shit. And I don't even know all the lymph drainage areas. Like, I would have to go and look them all up. We're all in your face. I've just been doing these rubs, and then where I find tension and trying to massage it out. And so I had kept noticing like this weird thing with the eyebrows. And I'd even been noticing, like thinking about my scar tissue from when I got hit in the face with a chair when I was little. And how it, oh my God, my water is way over there. How the, did I really, the scar tissue, how it is, if I could just keep rubbing it and relaxing it and like making it like go. Especially, see, it's always fucking with my head too. Like, we're not even flesh and blood. Like, this is so weird, but it is still like we have to maneuver ourselves through matter to understand how to change it, how to, like, there's a releasing it. And so, it's complex, but this is like what I feel like we're learning about. To me, well, I mean, everybody's learning all different things, but to me, this is what I feel like in my level of what I'm learning about. And so and so doing these things, and it was hurting, and I was thinking about like, where the lymph is, and I was thinking, for anybody who's doing this, they got to really think about, like, when you're doing this, you're not pushing down. Like, I think somebody was saying, like, when you're pushing down, if you're trying to push up, like, to lift your wrinkles, to remind your face, like, where it's supposed to be. And then and the lymph, but the lymph is more like, to me, is more like doing this, like, circular, like, rubbing circular, kind of like to break up whatever's clogging it there. And then to push it out. You're pushing out to get it out into the circulatory system. And then that one Russian doctor was saying, like, right in here, in this area is where it goes down. So it drains down. So you got to keep this also. And then that's why I had noticed where I was keeping so much tension back here. And so then I was like, that's clogging up, like, right where the lymph is. And so to work on to release that tension. When you find that tension, you find it leads to more tension. You find, like, oh my God, there's a lot of tension. Like, I'm holding a lot of tension in my scalp, in my head, and then how it's so, like, fucking every day. Like, when you're doing this, you go back, it's like, oh, there's more. It's like, this is what aging is, not taking care of yourself, not doing daily movement, daily taking care of yourself, all of this stuff. That is what we need to be doing, not rushing to work. I cannot believe how many people, I was so sick, but I got to go in a few hours. I got to get to work. I got to get this done. It's like people don't have the same drive in taking care of themselves as they do of getting it done for somebody else. It's like badge of honor. Look at my paycheck. Look at my, I'm employee of the month again. It's like people's priorities have got to be washed. It's like whitewash. And so anyways, so the drain, okay, so the draining the lymph thing. And so the pulling and draining the lymph thing down there. Okay, so now, because right after all those different things I saw, then all of a sudden I started getting these videos of this, all these women now who are getting face cancer from injections into their face. And so I was like, all of a sudden it was just like clicked. And I think it clicked, I was even recording, and all of a sudden it just clicked. I was like, oh my gosh. That's always, to me, is like when you all of a sudden you realize what they're trying to tell you, what they're trying to get across to you. And so so now, I'm looking at things a lot different. Now I'm looking at it's like, oh, okay, so this is, and I look at cancer different too. Cancer is bacteria and bugs and parasites and stuff. And so we have to get them out of us, because even though we're not flesh and blood, it's like the same thing is, it's like some sort of interference. It's some sort of, it's weird. It's weird how things can intrude into us. It's weird how this thing outside of us can interfere, like with our health and stuff, without us knowing it. It's like part of the game. So I don't know how else to explain it, except for it's like it's part of the game. It's part of like how it has to work. And so anyways, but that's how I look at it, like it's bugs and stuff like that. And so to kill them. And so so now I'm like thinking, okay, for one thing, all of this clogged up, which somebody had said about the oregano oil. I made a pizza yesterday. It was all, because I have my own oregano oil I made, and I had put that all on there. And but like, I don't know all the stuff about oregano oil, about it drying up the mucus. I think I'd heard that, but there's so many things. Like when you get onto that health side of social media, then it's like you get flooded with so many things. It's hard to keep up. But I did make my own oregano oil, and I think I was putting it for Stella for an ear infection, but I probably, had seen some that said about the mucus. I just don't remember. But, so I don't know. You have to I licked some while I was doing it. It was like, well, if I have to drink it directly, or you have to take a spoonful of it or something to dry it up, because the black seed oil, I take that and it's not drying up. And this has been going for a while. So now I am thinking, so these injections that they did that were clogged up, and wherever this lymph is, where we have our tear ducts and stuff here. So you think there's drainage here. So the drainage has got to be around here. So now the mucus is a sign of inflammation. So my sinuses, all this area has really been inflamed for a long time. And I kept thinking it was all this environmental allergies that, and I live in the woods, and I live in a place that's so fucking moist. I can't even tell you. Like, I had to open my car doors yesterday again. It is so moist. Everything is getting mildewed in everything. Like, it's mental. In the car, in the house, nothing dries. And then there's weird temperature fluctuations and stuff. Like, it's so wacky. I'm just so tired. And, but I kept thinking it's all this environmental stuff that is making me all like sinusitis or something. And because I know it's allergic reaction, because your body clogs up a bunch of mucus when it's trying to get something out. So I kept thinking, oh, so it's all this breathing, all this stuff in is so irritating. And then plus I feel these things moving around. Like, it feels like there's a worm crawling around on my fucking face. And underneath the skin, though, inside the sinus, like, you can feel like the snot moving. Like, it's weird. And I don't know what else to say except for something in there moving around. And so the let me think. So the snot gets all there when it's trying to keep something out, when it's trying to, it's like a protective thing. So all the mucus. And then so now I'm looking at it's like all that bacteria, all that botulism had to drain somewhere. So I don't know, when they put that in there, like, is it like, I don't, this is the kind of stuff where you look at it and you're like, what the hell was I even thinking? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, okay, yeah, let's just do it. Do it, dog. Yeah, try it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Will I look good? So irritating. So, anyways, so now I'm like, okay, so the whatever was left or whatever had to go somewhere. So it would have to drain down. And so I think it's been draining for a couple years, which goes with this clogged up mucus, because that goes with this black thing here. So something is going on with here. And one thing too that I'm always noticing in the bathroom, like you have the lighting is different, and so like you can turn your head, and I always see like right here is puffy. And then I always think it depends on the lighting. Like this thing kind of, I don't know, whitens some things out. Like, but because I feel like there's kind of like a dark circle right in here. And then, and I kept thinking, well, that's a part of aging. Your skin changes and stuff. So your eyes start to sink in and make it have different shadows and stuff. So I was like, okay, well, that's probably just like, you can't worry about that. Drive yourself fucking crazy. And so but now, now that I see aging is so differently, now it's like, oh, okay, so we've got this stuff here, and it's trying to move out, and it's sore, man. And I'm rubbing it, like, firmly, I would say. Like, I'm not doing deep tissue rubbing, but I'm definitely rubbing it firmly, I'm not being like, oh, here, do something. I probably could just with your Reiki energy, just do it. Like, I don't know. It depends on how good you are with focused energy, I guess. But anyways, I'm using my fingertips. And so rubbing in there and trying to push. And so then moving it towards the lymph place. And then, and so now I'm starting this is my new thing I'm starting to see how this goes. Because I swear, I don't know. It gives you a certain cockiness when you find out you've healed some pretty serious diseases without any medical intervention, just on your own, without even an awareness that you even had it. And so then it makes you feel like, okay, my body's fucking working, man. My body's kicking it. So I got to trust my body. But then with my awareness, I know now that I have to participate in some sort of helping manner. So it's kind of like the assistant handing the doctor the tools during surgery. So all I'm doing is assisting my body. I'm not really doing it. My body is doing all the healing. I'm just giving it the focus and the care and the, that kind of situation. And so, because I think it was already doing it, I mean, that was already going on, but it was like tedious to the point too, where this is where the lymph gets clogged. And maybe that is why my guys were trying to get across to me that it was getting clogged up and I needed to start moving it through. And they brought it to me in all these different ways. Some of the ways it's like funny, because it's like, oh, well, we knew we'd get you with the shallow shit or something. If you could look good. So I don't know. Maybe they know me better than I know myself, probably. So I don't know. I mean, it's all about your awareness. I do have a shallow side of myself. It goes way back. So I could go through that whole thing, explain that. But anyways, so now it's kind of like assisting by this rubbing and pulling and pushing it through. So I even feel like, because I was doing it this morning, I feel like it kind of made it feel more, less clogged up right here with the snot. And so I'm going to keep doing it, because now I'm like, oh, I bet you that is what's going on, that this is all clogged up. And then the clogging up and staying there, that's where it becomes cancer. That's where it starts eating away like your bone and your tissue and stuff, and starts interfering. Like it could be interfering with my eyes and stuff too, like all these eye problems. And and that's another thing I've been working all on myself for years. When they told me, all the things, well, you've got glaucoma now. I got glaucoma from them giving me a brain injury. So they gave me this injury to my eyes now. And then they start telling me all these things I have to do. I kept trying them. It kept being worse and worse and worse, to the point where they made my eyes so much worse. And I was like, every time it's like they just do worse and worse and worse. So it's like you just throw your hands up like, fuck it. I can do better on my own, motherfucker. And that's what you got to do. You got to get to that point. Like, fuck it. Like, you guys don't know what the fuck you're doing. And they don't. That's becoming crystal clear. It's really embarrassing. It's going to be real embarrassing for those egotistical assholes too. Like, but I'm still looking for an ethical doctor who will remove these goddamn implants. So there's got to be some out there, some that can humble themselves and say, yeah, God, I was a real moron, but I do know how to do this for you. I can't take these out. I was like, thank you. So hopefully, I know it's somewhere up there. I just got to relax and calm down. I know it will come to me. I don't have to run and chase it. I don't have to call them every day, push and push and push. That may not be the place I'm supposed to go. I can't push and push and push for something when I don't know where it's supposed to be. It's coming to me. And so it's like you put out the energy and you know what you want. And I know it's ahead. And then it's like I've got to just relax and know it's ahead. I don't know where or how it's going to play out, but it's coming. And somewhere along the way, I'm going to cross paths with an ethical doctor. And he's going to be like, yeah, I'll take those out for you. So anyways, this is my new thing that I'm doing too, is so I want to see also about this puffiness right here, because I was like, okay, that would make sense if this has got all this fluid retention And I know I've got all this mucus, it's all inflamed. And there's another thing that I kept being curious about too, is in the reflection in the mirror. And I would see this like line right here. And I would be like, is that like a puffiness? Is my cheek falling? Like, what is going on right there? And so, you know, and I'm thinking, well, it's got to be like the yoga, face yoga and stuff. Maybe the muscles just get loose and droopy. So just pull the tension back into the muscle. And so I don't know, but now I'm thinking it could be also this fluid retention from this bacteria that is stuck, that is trying to drain. Well, my body's trying to drain it. My body's trying to get rid of it, but it's causing a reaction that's creating so much mucus it can't get like through it. And so I have to help move it. And so what I am doing, this is all theory, like don't forget where this is our science experiment on the other side of the coin. Like how do we fix our health from everything that's been destroyed? And so so this is I'm taking this, and in here where there's the tear ducts and stuff, like I'm figuring there's got to be a drainage point. And so I'm rubbing in there and then rubbing out here. And it always feels so good when I rub here. Like I can breathe for a minute. And so it's probably got drainage things here. And it's sore. It's, oh man, right here. It felt like it was like moving. I was weird. It did a weird thing. But anyways, so to do this drainage thing. And so kind of like what I've been doing is like these circles to kind of break it up, you know, and then pull it back so it could get in the circulatory system. And so keep pulling, because that is what it does do, is like what the Russian doctor was saying, it will create these little like puffy places, those swollen places, and then your tension in your face, it holds your anger and stuff. So then you look at yourself and you see your angry side, and these are your signs of aging. These are all things that you just need to take care of. And like young people, like you're starting like bug, you don't even have to have the signs of aging. You start taking care of yourself. You don't have to go through this. Those of us who have gone through it, now we have to go backwards. We have to be like, turn the clock back. But young people, like I'd be on the minerals right away. Like I would be drinking. You got to remember, we used to drink through copper pipes. And like I said, it would be like they turn the pipes on, they turn the water on in the morning, clear the pipes, and then you just use the water all day long. And so you got to get back into getting minerals. And another thing too is what people used to drink out of like lakes and rivers and shit is, I think mostly rivers because it had to be running water, but the water, I'm sure, you know, because back when it was tribes and stuff, they would always find places of water, and you drink out of the water, and the water was used for everything. They use it for taking baths. I don't even know if they use the same water, but you know, they're drinking out of water that fish are in and going to the bathroom and all the algae and stuff. But all that stuff gives minerals. So all the rocks, all the algae, that all gives minerals. So there was minerals that the people would get, that's how they would stay healthy. It was the introduction of these other people's sicknesses that came in was making the other people sick because they didn't have sickness. And I don't know about those people. Those people who came from the not just the settlers. Like I see this whole thing about that too, like how they coaxed people over to try and take the land from the people and stuff. Like it was a bunch of nasty business. And a bunch of people bought in and stuff. And, I mean, they could even let criminals off, and if you'd go over there. And so anyways, but, so people used to drink out of the lakes and the rivers and stuff, and that would give them minerals. Then when they started doing the pipes in the house, they used copper. And I don't know, I think that, you know, in our reset situation, we don't know how much stuff was knowledge that was lost. Like they were way more advanced than we are. And so I think they knew stuff about like copper and stuff. So So anyways, if I was young, I would be drinking, I would get a copper cup. And my mom, she couldn't afford to get the copper cup. So she got just a glass jar, and then she just got some copper wire. And she did this weird, she made a whole bunch of little twisty things. So like a whole bunch of little ice cubes or something, copper ice cubes in her thing. But then let your water sit. She dumped out her first one, let the water sit, and then drink it every few hours. And I don't know, how much the difference in how much copper comes out. And it depends on how much seeps into your water. So you have to monitor your water. So you might want to start with like, well, let it sit for an hour and see if it's okay. Let it sit for 2 hours, see if it's okay. And then you'll notice, because it'll kind of make you feel kind of nauseous or going to give you a headache. And then just, you could add more water to it, or dump that in your plants and then start again, especially if it's only been a couple hours, then just go backwards. Be like, okay. And then some people just drink just out of a copper cup. They just drink out of it. So they don't ever let it like leach all day long. Like I'm in the thing where you let it leach all day. Like you let your water sit in the copper, and then you pour that into something and drink that. So there's different methods. So that's where you have to figure out like what works for you. But if I was young, I'd be starting something. Start getting used to just, rather than using plastic, especially, get away from using plastic. Get a copper mug and start drinking out of that. Or the copper vessels, they got the ones that are just like drinky cup things. But the thing is you can't just leave your water in there overnight. You still got to be mindful of how long your water's been in the copper, because otherwise you'll feel sick and stuff all the time. You got nauseous because you'll get too much of it. So you got to, monitor your cup. But that is where it's a part of like our society where that becomes more normal, where everybody just walking around drinking out of copper and just flushes their, dumps their cup every day and gets new water or whatever. But that, or we do something, go back to copper pipes. I don't know all the changes that are going to happen, but definitely as a young person, I would start right away staying on top of the minerals and detoxing and stuff. Don't think like you have to wait until you get old. No, it started when we were young. This started happening. This is what has happened to us from not taking care of ourselves in that way. It has made us, this aging is created. This is the stuff from not taking care of ourselves. So you have to start at a young age. You have to start making sure you're eating right. You're taking vitamins. You don't stop moving. You make sure you always have a lifestyle that you can maintain. Some people think, well, I'm going to get fit. So then they put hours and hours in, but then they can't maintain it. And then you go and you eat, and your lifestyle becomes around this working out for hours and hours. And then when you can't go and do that and you have a shift, then it changes your whole ecosystem. And then, you have to have a lifestyle you can keep up with. And to me, especially being out here, it's like, I'm not going to go fucking drive to the gym. Like, I wanted to do dance classes. I didn't want to fucking drive. It's like everything you do, it adds on a couple hours. So it's like, fuck. It's like such an all day thing. Everything is, a small thing. It turns into a lot. It's time consuming. And so let me think what I was saying. So the time consuming, going into town, what was I talking about in town? Or something about being in town or something. I don't even know what the fuck I was talking about. Let me think. So, anyways, I'll show you my hair. That's easy. So it's I don't know. Can't even speculate anymore when it's gonna be gone. This part just seems like it's most resistant parts. It keeps going back in. Another thing too, oh yeah, because the young people. Another thing too that I'm curious about is because this big gray piece, it always seemed to just never change links. It would just go to here. And I don't know, is that like my sideburn? One time somebody told me I had weird sideburns that were super long. It's like, do other people's hair start way back here? Isn't everybody have long hair right here? Like, I don't know. But, so now though, I'm curious because this is the most resistant and it's white. And so it's the most drained of all the nutrients and it wasn't growing in links. So now once this changes colors and goes to whatever color my hair is, that, once that does, that's what I'm going to start paying attention to. If it starts growing and going, longer, because it's got a ways to go. So, but that's what I'm going to be paying attention to with that too. And then, so on my face thing, I'm paying attention to this black line. And now I'm going to be right on top of this. I'll probably do it like 3 or 4 times a day and do the massaging and try and move this stuff through and then keep pulling it. Like I'll pull it down through this way into this drainage because this is where the drainage thing is. He said you go like back up and down real quick right here. And then he said there's right behind the ears is the same thing. And then he said do it like a V and do it and pull. And he was doing it pretty firm too. But, you don't want to hurt yourself. Like, you got to monitor your own skin and your own stuff. And, and I don't know if you like pain. Like, everybody's different on what feels painful to them. So, anyways, so that is what I'm going to be doing those and try and pull it down. So the thing I'll be watching is this, what's going on here, which after I finish this, I'm going to put some more horse paste on it. And because right now it's kind of open, because I kind of scratched it and a little piece of this flaky thing came off. I washed it down the drain. That little black thing that came out. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have washed it down the drain. It's probably fucking bacteria, botulism somewhere. And so, so I'm going to be doing that and trying to pull. So I'm going to try and be paying attention to what changes occur in this area, like right in here, because this is where I'm going to be doing this work. And so I'm going to keep pulling and pulling this drainage out. And then I'm going to pay attention to how that does with clearing up this mucus. So to see how that works. And so I'm going to see about that and put it all together. And so I'm telling you so that you can kind of monitor yourself and see like, oh, I do see a difference and stuff. Because this is stuff that we're all learning about our own faces and stuff. Like I think a lot of people, like they think that it sounds wacky when you say aging isn't real. And I 100% do not believe it's real. 100%. And it seriously is the long-term poisoning, and then the lack of minerals, and then the lack of emotional strength, lack of spiritual connection, which was wisdom teeth. That was a thing. And I shared the video yesterday in the whatever that's called, description. I used to have a whole thing in the description, but they stopped letting me copy and paste. So I was like, well, I'm not going to write this all out every day. Like, if you want to read this, my little thing, but it's kind of basically the same thing as the bio, but I had a bunch of links to different things and stuff. So, but if they're not going to let me copy and paste it, I'm sure not going to go and put it in every day. And it was a lot of stuff. So that's why my bio or the little description is always empty now, unless I have something to say. And so I shared, because right after I finished and I went on TikTok, that's the video that popped up, was that guy talking. I was like, oh yeah, it was wisdom teeth. That's why they try and remove them. And it's like a whole thing, because each tooth is connected to a different part of your body and stuff. Like, it's a whole thing. and they take them out early because they are trying to make sure that you are only using this one side of your brain. It's a whole thing. But they're always trying to cut people off from their spirituality. But you can see how it's worked. They got people cut off from it. Like all this stuff that they did worked. And then even people who, think they're so awake. And it's like, there's going to be a more dramatic awakening. That's what I think. And so but anyways, so back on my face thing. So I'm going to be doing this stuff on my thing. So you can be noticing for yourself. So you can be trying to figure out like on your own what you've got going on. And like on mine, like I'll find places where attention, like on this place where I was like, oh, this spot. So to me, it's like just go into the spot and be like, okay, just relive the situation, go back into it and just release it and let go of it. It just is a process that you have to figure out to go through, because it doesn't have to be each little thing. It can be all different. Some of them is just like talking to myself. It's all different. But so find your place of tension or whatever. Maybe it was a bad marriage and it gave you gray hair and wrinkles. That's real. Is that you weren't standing up for yourself. You weren't feeling accepted. You weren't feeling connected. Like there's a whole lot of things that you were putting up with that you weren't getting from it. And so it was causing you pain and suffering and tortures in your face. And so you got to go back into that and just remember, like, like who you were and accept yourself. Like, fuck, I can't believe I put myself through that, man. And just keep releasing and letting go of that pain that you had. And then remember when you're pulling back the lymph, because there's swelling and stuff that goes on. That's what they're talking about. And that's what I'm noticing on these little places. And that's why I'm pointing them out. So like if you can see them, then you can start paying attention and see like what things change, like how we start looking younger, what things we're doing in order to look younger. And so it's definitely, a healthy lifestyle. I think there's so many people who are my age who drink a lot. Like I know that, like there's a lot of people who drink some, but there's a lot of people who drink a lot. And I don't drink. Like I drink kombucha, and I drink tea and water. What was the other thing? No, that's kombucha too. So because there was these at the market here we have, and they would have to be they would be able to be bought anywhere. It wouldn't be just legal because they're selling right in the grocery store, and they're hemp. So there's CBD. There's different kinds of CBD. There's CBD that is a hemp derivative, and then there's the CBD that's a THC derivative. And so the hemp derivative one, that's what Stella takes. And that is like, and I buy it on Amazon. You can get it anywhere. And so that's what these little drinks are. So they're these little CBD. They're like a soda or seltzer or something. And I got some of those. Those were really good. It was really relaxing too. And but anyways, I think that a lot of people don't realize how bad that alcohol is on their system. It's like aging your system. It's like adding in the poison. So you really have to be a lot more limiting, or a lot more mindful over what you're consuming in, and pay attention. Like, I mean, some people, it can be fine drinking like one glass of wine a day. I didn't do good with it, but I also, had other issues. So, but, everybody's got to figure out their own stuff. That's all there is to it. And, but that stuff will aid you. So it can make you be more aging. So if you're taking something in and you're trying to fight that same thing, so you got to be mindful of what you're taking in. So you may not have as dramatic of results if you're taking something in that you are keep having to wear your body out processing, especially if it's been processing for years, decades, and it's like, it's a little more worn out, and it's like, I, uh, it can't keep up. It can do it a lot better, in your 20s and stuff. But people who drink, like a lot of people will find that they get more hungover or really crappy feeling after not having like a whole bunch of drinks. Like when they were a kid, they could drink a whole bunch and be fine, get up in the morning. And then as they get older, it's like, oh my God, I'm so sick, or I can't get up, or I've got such a headache, or I don't feel good. Is that your body gets more worn down trying to process that. It's very destructive to the liver too. Somebody who drinks all the time, their liver can't keep up, and their liver starts having broken parts. That's why people start having like cirrhosis and stuff, not having full liver function. And but that's, each person has to make those choices. Some people would rather enjoy their life and have some drinks with some friends and that be their life. And if that takes them out, then they're okay with it. That's their thing. But my stuff is talking about more health and feeling good and taking care of yourself. So I got to point out that side of it. There is a side that you are fighting against, but you have to be the monitor. You have to find your own balance, because for some people, not ever having a drink, it makes them feel more like angry and bitter. Like, I can't even enjoy a small fucking drink. Like, have your goddamn drink. Like, seriously, don't hold yourself back like that. You got to find your balance. And there's a lot of stuff to balance. And you got to also take it into consideration, how it affects your health and stuff. So that is for each person to decipher that information for themselves and find where they can live and feel happy. That is your lifestyle choice. And that is where you've got to find where you fit in, how you fit in, how you want to live. And to me, as like, I'm not going to go to the gym. So I've got my weights sitting right here. And I'm way more of a, like, I'll get up and go over, I'm doing something, like I'm going to get up and go pee. And then come back and I'll stand there and do like 5 or 10 minute little workout thing. It's probably like, could be 30 seconds. I don't know. It seems like it's like fucking forever. It's like, like, and always to put more weight on your weights with your mind. Like, really focus on how heavy they are, and it will make them more heavy, and it will do more with your workout. And so, but those kinds of things, just this, like, I may sit around, I may have a sedentary lifestyle, but I'm going to get up and I'm going to go, and every time I get up, I'm going to do a little quick workout. And I heard this a long time ago too, is, I think it was back in the days where couch potato was becoming a thing. And they were talking about people gaining weight, sitting on the couch watching TV all the time. That was like, I don't know, I think that was during the 80s or 90s where that was like a couch potato, and get up and move. Now there's like, get over there, lay down, get some goggles on, just go into metaverse and don't ever get up. It's like, so back when it was like a couch potato situation, then they had things like, every time you get up to go to the bathroom or get something, do jumping jacks, jog, and so I've always done like weird stuff like that. Like, I get up, like I'll start doing some weird walk or do weird stuff, like, because it was already in my mind to do that. And so then I was like, well, I'm just going to set my weights down here. I'm just going to stop and do some weights. And I'll stop and do some stretches. And, whatever it is, do some yoga. But do some kind of movement. And that fits into my lifestyle. And it's easy and simple. I don't have to go and stress myself out. And I think it's just as effective to do 5 or 10 minutes a couple times through the day than it is to go spend hours at the gym. I think that is not a lifestyle most people can keep up with. But you can keep up with a lifestyle like to just push yourself a little bit throughout the day and, make sure that you're going, like Stella makes sure, the movement. She's like, yeah, you may want to sit there all day and crochet or go on TikTok or some bullshit, but we're going to go out and walk around. And so she'll harass me, make me go do stuff. It's just like she's my keeper. That's the familiar. So she's got to keep me in line. But so those things though of just making sure that you're doing movement, taking care of yourself, being emotionally stable, being authentic and real will make you feel better about yourself. You'll go through the process of feeling like unaccepted, like, putting yourself out there and people think you're weird and stuff. It's like, that's where you gotta, it's gonna feel uncomfortable at first. You're gonna feel judged and you're gonna feel, and you may get mad, like, how dare you judge me? You're no better than me. And that may be part of your process or something, but that doesn't mean you need to fight with them. You can keep your process internal. You can go through it. You don't have to go and take it out on the stage, take it out and start dealing with your shit, fighting with somebody else. They don't even know what the hell you've got going on inside you. So you got to be more aware of what you got going on inside of you and mindful, taking care of it yourself. And so, in just going through your process of recognition, realizing what your problem is and stuff. So the more that you can be real and authentic, the more you're going to feel better about yourself. The being vulnerable, putting yourself out there is a part of the authenticity. You got to put yourself out there, and it's like you take a little chance. And if your little chance, you don't like it and it blows up, don't stop. Don't go, well, that was a disaster, I'm going back to hiding. No. The universe will play games with you. It will push you. It's a game, There will be challenges. There will be things to make you, is this what you really want? Like, believe you me, they do that. Like, is this what you really want? Is this what you really want? It's like, oh yeah, I really do. I really, really do. But you have to come to that place. I really do. I really, really do. And so, but you have to find that place inside of you. And then it's like, well, we'll see how it goes. Like, but anyways, in the process of finding your lifestyle, you got to find something that works for you. And everything's going to be changing. Like, everybody's lives are falling apart, and things are falling apart because it's a rebuild into something better. And it's such an important part too, is your boundaries, like what you'll put up with. But you can't just put up boundaries over, nobody can say things that hurt your feelings, nobody can do this, nobody can do that. No, boundaries are like, it's like what you'll put up with. But I feel like there's so much shade in the boundary realm that's where everybody's got to figure out how to navigate through it. But you got to really go in and reevaluate what it is, like the question when I say, what are you trying to get? Who are you trying to get it from? What are you trying to do? Like, ask yourself. And then when you feel somebody is pushing up on you, when they're trying to get something from you, and that is that push, and that's when you need your boundaries to be able to push back. As soon as you feel that pushing in on you, you got to learn how to trust that. And that is the whole thing too. So you got to learn how to trust that, and then not fire back, but start just putting up a block and saying, no, you can't talk to me that way. You can't act like that to me. So even if it is to your parent, but it's just as like something goes further, and if there is, like, if you have a parent who's always talking down to you, You say, you know what, you can't talk to me like that anymore. I am so tired of you talking down to me. I don't talk down to you. I just talk how I talk. It's like you're talking, I don't know, because sometimes like you can try and point something out, but somebody is not hearing it. So you can try and get them to understand, to see what you see, but you can't get them to see what you see. So you can just say, I feel that you are saying something that is hurting my feelings right now. And I feel like your approach is to, attack me. If this is how you look, man, it's so complicated. Like you have to figure out how to do these conversations, but not just fight. What is the point of just fighting and telling somebody they're bad? You're bad, I'm good. That gets you nowhere. You got to figure out how to navigate and negotiate in this boundary realm, especially with the people who you care about. You can't just keep pushing people away and pushing people away, but you have to put up, it isn't like cage yourself in, but you can turn it into a caging yourself in. So it is like you want to be out there, you want to be free, but there's also a point of not letting people's shit involve you. So letting a lot of shit just roll off your back and being like, ugh, whatever, bad day, person, and letting their shit affect you. But there is definitely relationships. There's definitely scenarios that occur that you have to notice where you're being treated about, where you have to put up a like, no, I won't be treated that way. I care about myself way too much to be talked to like that, or whatever it is. But the thing is you just don't want to go further in, and sometimes it's defeatist to try and explain to somebody what they're doing because they can't see it. If they could see it, they probably wouldn't do it. And you trying to explain it, but it's kind of like once you set the boundary and you say stop, it's like this seed formation. It's like you put in a stop to it, and you say no, and then they have a confusion that sets in, and a whole mass amount of thinking, trying to, trying to understand, and you goes through this process of, who's the bad guy, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, who's the good guy, as a part of our process. And then, so when they start going through that, that's when their guidance can come in and show them. Is once that question's asked, once they go into that question, so that is where you're doing them a benefit. You're helping them. You're not helping people by not setting boundaries, by not standing up for yourself and letting people just be out of control. That is not helping them, and it's not helping you, because you will feel more beat down, you'll feel more not seen, you'll feel not heard. There's like a whole bunch of things. It's like where you have to start standing, both feet on the ground, stand up straight and tall, and claim your space and what you will allow into it. And, that is you becoming you and becoming sovereign and becoming free, and not feeling like you have to please others and do things so that others will like you. Is letting go of all of that energy and walking into your new version of self. But there's a lot of work to it. There's a lot of process. Most people would think of it as being work, as tedious, because it's hard, because a lot of people don't want to feel their emotions and they don't want to deal with stuff. That's why our society is so superficial and artificial and fake and phony. So, but your soul wants you to deal with shit. Your soul wants you to be deeper. So and everything that is happening on the planet is to push you into that deeper way of looking at things. All the energy, everything going on is to get you to be more deeper, to look at things more. And so and it all goes together. It's all a big part of this process. It's all of this process too, with this awakening, as far as I'm concerned, is this aging thing. And then plus, it's not by any accident. Like all the stuff that comes to me is not by accident. Like it comes to me. And Yeah, where you saw the 140-year-old Jamaican woman and what she was talking about, and she all takes the mineral. I think she even whatever she takes, her little formula, I think she sells it or something, and I'm sure it's all like minerals and healthy shit. And then this whatever this documentary on Netflix I saw somebody talking about, where it's got all these people who are over 100 years old in all these different places, and they're going and asking them, like, what do they do? Like, there's places where there's a whole bunch of 100-year-old people or something, and that is where that person was saying that they said you got to make sure you keep moving. But all of these things coming about to me, it all goes together to me. Like all the things, they're not just, it's all a part of the same message. It's like the message, and a message can be spread out over years, man. It is, it's all a part of the same message. And so to me, 100% is the taking care of yourself emotionally and spiritually will make you not have as much tension and anger and frustration, and you'll find more peace, and so you won't hold so much aggravation and tension in your face. And but always at the end of the day, going in and like regrouping yourself, like go in and relax and rub your tension out, replay your day, talk to yourself, ask yourself how you're feeling, let go and release all the tension and stuff, and make sure you're drinking minerals and taking things that are really good for you, and make sure you're detoxing the chemicals out of you and taking in as little amount of chemicals as possible. And it's in everything. So you're taking them in your toothpaste, you're taking them in your shampoo, you're taking them in your soap, you're taking them in your dish soap, you're taking them in your laundry soap, you're taking them in your breathing air, you're taking them in every motherfucking thing. Spray it on your foods like it's everything. So, you're taking it constantly. So that is where you just got to be more mindful, and you got to figure out where it is you want to be, how it is you want to feel. And we're all in different places. Like there's a lot of people, we're further into this aging process. We've gone deeper into it, and we got to go backwards. And when you're going backwards, you just got to keep going in. I was still every day, I would go in and release all the stuff. I would make it a regular practice to go in and find. And I'm telling you, you will find like, oh my God, there's tension there. Like all these places where you like hold tension and you don't realize it. And that becomes like a place where lymph and stuff gets held. And then you start getting stiff and you start like not being able to move, and you start thinking, oh, I'm just getting old. You got to push through all that stuff. And one thing I found that was so good with the movement was the yin yoga, because I liked the way that the yoga, you would do the yoga moves, but then you will hold them. You didn't just go through all the yoga moves and stuff. I like to do more of like really tune into my body, stretch into my body, what my body needs, not what a yoga instructor is saying. And the yin yoga is a lot more of stretching into it and holding the stretch. And the more you hold it, the longer it releases more. And so it pulls, it's like, when I was doing it, because I had first started doing it on my hip when my hip was hurt. And at first, it was so, oh my God, it hurt so bad. But then it just kept getting more and more and more. But it's like you would stretch it, but then you like lean into it or lean away from it. And leaning away from it pulls it, confirmation, pulls it tighter out. And so now I'm really limber. Like I can do all like my muscle or my hips. Like I can put my I can practically put this leg over my head. Like I got a lot more limber now, where it was like so stiff. But I did that by I could have just gone into it. I go, oh well, I got injured. Well, you know what it's like getting old. I got hurt. I can't move so well. All those things. Everything that has come to me, I have fought back. I've pushed back. And so the And everything that has come to me, I push back. I don't just surrender to the stuff like that. So the push, you just got to keep pushing back on things. And so, uh, I did yoga and stuff to stay more limber and move. So then you start feeling like, okay, well, you don't feel so old anymore. And getting the tension and anger out of your face, and go look in the mirror and be like, well, I don't look so old. I don't look so mad and angry. And all of the different things that affect you, like the lymph and stuff that causes swelling and stuff, like all those things to take better care of yourself will make you feel better, so you don't feel like you're aging. The aging is all in your head. It's all like the same thing as like they're poisoning us and they tell us that we've got a flu. It's like it's the same kind of thing. So you have any of the stuff you've gone, just start going backwards. Just start taking better care of yourself. Start putting more good stuff in. Start thinking more positively. Start really wrapping your head around that aging isn't real. Like, I think, and you're not flesh and blood. Aging isn't real. You're here to work through your stuff. There's a lot of stuff, and when you release your stuff, you'll feel better. You'll look better. And then young people, as you're going through it, you don't hold on to stuff. You start learning how to have better boundaries. You start learning how to be more mindful and caring. And there's, we got a ways to go. Like, my God, we are generations into this people with mental illness raising kids. Like, we have got so many damaged parents raising kids, and then they have kids, and then they have kids. Like, we're generations in on this. And so we have a lot of cleanup. There's a lot of cleanup to do. And I just saw footage too over the weekend in New York. So weird how the Middle East would be the thing that all these people are coming together on. Well, you got a group that kind of like, this whole thing is just weird. But so the people out still marching in New York on it. Like, I don't know if they're marching ever. Like, I think some places are marching for their own country. Like, they show some of these people out in the streets, but I think some of them are for their own country. Like for Germany, and there's a lot of these places, and the farmers and stuff, they're not out there fighting for somebody else's flag. They're fighting for their own rights in their own government. And ours, whatever is going on, but in New York, I guess, where the police were trying to get a hold of this crowd and they couldn't. That they realized they were outnumbered, and I guess the cops even joined in with the crowd. And so, but that's going to have to be, the cops are going to have these moral dilemmas. They're going to keep being faced. They're going to have to see what side they've been on. And they're going to have to see, like, if they want to go into humanity, the humanity side, the human beings, and join that fight. And I mean, there's all these different people, all these doctors, lawyers, like there's so many. Oh, and I'll tell you another thing that's weird is I keep getting texts. Like, this is actual text on my phone. I've got 2 right now. And one of the people keeps texting me every day. They're like, is this Kelly? And then another number, is this Kelly? Is this address? We're trying to contact you. We think we have a great plan for you. It's like, oh, So just some common citizen out there is just coming up with some great plan for me. Somehow gets my number and starts texting me. Then when I'm not answering that for the 3rd day, and they're like, is this Kelly? I'm trying to get hold of Kelly. And then all of a sudden another number starts messaging me, doing the same thing. I was like, this is some shady shit, man. And I think on one of them, he said, I still see a lot of hope on what's going on. And to me, it's like, it's the universe. The universe makes this decision. It decides. It's not me going out and fighting and trying to do something. The universe knows what I want. The universe knows, but the universe has a plan. I've already been through this shit. And so it's like, you can't fight it. It's like whatever's going to go is going to go. And so, and they could do it either way. they can just as easily have that not, which I think that's what's going to go. I think it's going to, everything's going to fall apart, but it's going to go to the last second. But I don't know. I just got to wait and see. And if it doesn't go that way, then I, again, just feel like, okay, well, I'm just being pushed to hurry up and get out of this area. If it doesn't, then I would feel like, okay, I've got some time, whatever, just go with the flow and see what's next. But anyways, we'll just see how, but everything does seem like right on the edge. The financial thing and stuff, everything is like so on the edge. And, anything can go. But I do think it is very strange, like how these people got my phone number and texting me, how my name, my address, and my phone number. That shouldn't be public record, should it? How was our cell phones public? I mean, it was one thing back in the day when we had our house phones. Like, I even have a house phone. And we had house phones, and there's yellow or a phone book, and you could look up and see people's phone numbers and their names and their addresses. But now, like, I don't know. It seems very much like it's the same industry that's going after me is trying to come up with a solution. But it's like a different, different floor of the same building. You know what I'm saying? And so it is, they have access to this information or something. So I don't know. We'll just keep seeing how it's playing out. There's a part of me that wants to, rush and be like, yeah, please help me, help me, help me. But then there's another part of me that's like, no, you got to just stand strong, stand, for what you believe in. And I believe that this is corrupt. I believe their system is corrupt. I believe that the money thing has already been solved. It is already, the bankers and stuff have already been being taken down. That this is what the BRICS nation and all this stuff is about. That we are going on to the gold standard. Have already been being prepared for the collapse to happen. So I feel like, whatever is going to go is going to go. So I'm going to go with the flow. There's like no other choice about that. So anyways, we'll see how it goes. I just think that was really weird that they have my phone number. So I'm sure they'll be texting me. I'm sure they'll be texting me a lot over the next few days or something. And I don't even know what date it is supposed to be that they're saying the auction. But before, when that happened before, the lawyer guy told me that they go into, just because it says it's going to be auctioned, they don't all make the thing. So I don't know. And there's a lot of houses. There's a lot of corrupt. Like, there's so much, man. There's so much going on right now. And man, there's so many people who are so focused on this eclipse coming and this X and going across our country. And there's so many people saying that's going to be the 3 days of darkness. There's always this attachment with the 3 days of darkness that everybody is waiting on. Like, I have no idea. I have no idea when it's coming, what's going to happen, or any of that stuff. I just know something is going to be happening. And there's a lot of stuff that has already happened. There's already a federal judge. No, it's not even a federal. It's global. A global judge has already come out and said that debt is illegal, and we've all been released from debt. And so now, knowing that we're released from debt, I know I'm fighting against a corrupt group when they are coming at me. But, I don't know. We got to just see, because this could just be that they really can't do anything. And so then they've got this other floor. They start sending you messages to get you hooked in that way, because everything is about a hook. There's always a lure. They're always trying to pull us in. And then you get so many people who get pulled in. And then they, well, we gotta pick. We gotta say what we want. No, what I want is not be any part of their bullshit. I don't believe in their fucking politics. I don't believe in their fucking government. I don't believe in their control. I don't believe in their medicine. There's nothing of their bullshit that I want any part of. And besides the fact that everything is free. Land and resources are free, and these people are trying to take them and charge them for us. And it's illegal, it's corrupted, it's against our human rights. And so all that stuff is going on. All that stuff is what's real. So that is what's really happening. And that's why, I got to stand for what I know and what I believe in. And I believe that these people are a part of the corruption. But, that's what I believe. I think it's real strange how they get my phone number of a cell phone. Well, I thought it was strange how Secret Service showed up at my house after, same day as a text. It's like, you don't put your address up there. It's just your name. But they can find you through your IP address, I guess. They can find you right where you are. Or through our electro monitoring our phone. Like, I don't even know. We're fucking tagged. Just the same thing that they've done to animals and shit in nature. There's tagging everything. We're all tagged somehow. Like, all these people freak out about this stuff. I'm sure we're all fucking tagged. We're all, I don't know. Just like all this bullshit. So I told you I was going to be a grump. Grumpy goddamn mood. So, and I'm wide fucking awake. So and I'm starving. My goddamn stomach never fucking stops crawling. I made some pizza yesterday. That was pretty good. And then, I don't know, my whole day just revolves around weird stuff. Cooking, letting the dog out, go for a walk, crocheting. Really, I'm liking this one I'm making again. So I've been doing that. I really like the colors. And I don't know. I'm super excited for my order to get here. I'll show you the shoes when they get here. And I'm sure it's gonna be like, oh, those shoes, like, what's the big deal? They're so cute to me. God, I love them. And so I can't wait till that package gets here. That's like my big Christmas day I'm waiting on for this package. So anyways, that's all I really got going. That's it. Waiting on a package, working on moving lymph, trying to de-age myself, trying to age backwards, age regressing myself, trying to take better care of myself and, get over my insecurities, get over being angry at myself for having such severe insecurities. I was like, oh, God damn it. Wait, now this goddamn plastic little fucking water balloon bullshit. So that is another thing, too. It was like every day still. It will come to me. Like, I know it will come to me, but it's like, God damn, hurry up. I really want it to be like now. So that's another challenge to have to deal with. I want it and I want it now. So it's like, okay, it's coming. Just gotta relax. And that's just a part of life. It's part of, to me, spiritual existence. Oh my God, these fucking parasites are such bitches. I'm rubbing this one too, because this is the one, like, when I'm laying on my side, it always gets this a puffiness right here. And see, we just gotta move this stuff out. And we'll see. I mean, this is just getting started. Like, this has just been a couple months. So, I mean, I think next year, let's see, and then plus we'll have it all documented. Like, in a year or something, it could be fuck. And then plus, man, to me, it keeps being like all this stuff that we're doing to get ourselves better. Then just think of all the benefits once you get into that fucking med bed. How much more it can benefit you. And don't forget, too, it grows your stuff back. Everything that they've cut out of you is one thing that I have noticed is the places where they've cut on my body and stuff. And, and I just keep thinking, okay, well, that'll be healed. But all those things will grow back. Everything they cut out and mess with and everything, all that stuff will be fixed. But I don't know, maybe just taking such good care of yourself and going into the med bed, you only be in there a few minutes, or maybe it'll go quicker. Like, I don't know. But I know that this stuff that we're doing is going to benefit us when we get our opportunity to go in the med bed. It's going to really make a big difference. Like, I think some people will go into them and there'll be all different results. So anyways, if you want good results, start taking care of yourself now. And by the way, love yourself, love everybody, and have a loving day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.